Dummy. How are we going? All done? You haven't finished yet? Well, you keep working, okay, while we're playing. Thank you. Ta. I just noticed on the board over here, got John 1:1 written down. I want you to look at the English and let me know what you see is different from the verse quoted in the Bible. What's the difference in the blue? Okay. That's missing. What else? Well, that's added it.
Capital for word.
Sorry?
Capital W for word.
W. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. So you're talking about the verb?
No, the word, logos, is that a capital W in John because it's named Christ?
Saying that the lambda should be a capital.
No. In the Greek, that's the way it is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the way it is, yeah.
The Word was with God and the Word was God.
Yeah?
It's not the other way around.
So it should be the other way around? Okay. So I want to find out what is the difference you see between the two. Is something else over here that's a bit different?
There's the need before God.
Yeah. Okay, so we see three things different. Now, account for it. Now, in the Greek, we'll be looking today at things called cases. And this little illustration over here shows you that you don't get exact word-for-word phraseology from Greek to English, because the language is a description of the culture. They speak a certain way, we speak a certain way. We would say, the green tree, adjective first. They say, the tree green. They'll put the noun first. As far as they're concerned, the noun's the most important thing, put that first, followed by the adjective. So we find that they say things one way, we say things a different way. And so here we find, in beginning, the there's not there, the the's not there. As far as the Greek's concerned, that's fine. But we think, what do you mean in beginning? There's only one beginning. Yeah, when God created heaven and the earth. So in the beginning, therefore we shove down the thee, they did not. And it happens sometimes when there's an article there, they recognise it. When it's not there, sometimes when it's there, they don't recognise it. And sometimes when it's not there, they put it in. And when it, so it's, in other words, it's flexible. So here we find the thee is there. Here we find they've added it in. Now here we have over here, in this part, the thee is shoved in, but we don't say the God. With them, proper nouns normally have an article with them. So you're talking about the Peter, the John, the Paul, and the Simon. They say it all the time. We don't say the all the time. We just use the proper name. So basically, it's just deleted in the Bible all the time. Now this over here is the one that causes a bit of contention. You find the Jehovah's Witnesses will say there's no thee in front of God so it must be a God. Well, there's no the in front of beginning. We don't say a beginning. And they all say in the beginning. So you find the idea about having a God over there is something that is invented according to their own doctrine. Now, say, why is it this way? Because it's always, in the Bible, it's God was the Word, but it's always translated in any translation as the Word was God. So why is that? Why is it that they all put the Word down the subject and God as the predicate? Yeah, very simple. There's a rule in the Greek. When you have a verb to be, like am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been, a linking verb. Both sides over there, you have what's called the nominative case, the case of the subject. So the verb over here, none of it is a subject case, that's subject case, both ending in os. Now, if they both had the article, it'd be interchangeable. You could say God was the Word and the Word was God. You can be interchangeable. But what the rule is this: the subject carries the article, the predicate does not. So therefore we know the subject, logos, has the article, it's the subject. Theos does not have the article, it's not the subject. So therefore you translate it, the Word was God. Now, in Greek, they say, in the beginning was the Word was with God, and God was the Word. You know, they say God was the Word. In other words, who is the Word? God. It's emphasising God. That's a strong emphasis, so I'll put it first. So God, as logos is the subject, God is the predicate. So theos can't have the article. Not possible. Because otherwise you confuse it and you say, well, God was the Word. Now, God, Trinity, is not the Word. You know, Trinity is not the Word. Christ is in the Trinity, but he's not the Trinity. Okay? So the whole Trinity is not in Jesus. So the Word was God, but you can't have God was the Word. Not possible. It's theologically incorrect. Now, I want to show you something. Just turn to your Bibles, please. I want you to turn to the English Bible. And I'll show you a few verses in John's Gospel, chapter 1. Just 5 situations. And I'll make it 6 for the sake of the person who misses out. So, John chapter 1, we have verse 1 over here. We have God does not have the article. All right? Now, the JW say it's supposed to be a God. All right? Read verse 6, please. Let's see, start with Matthew. Go in the clock. Read verse 6, please, Matthew.
There was a man sent from God whose name was John.
Okay. From God, there's no article. Now, who is that person referring to? Is it Jesus Christ or be God the Father? It'll be God the Father. Next one. Let's go down to verse number 12. Yeah. Sons of God. Again, there's no article over there. Would you say sons of a God? You wouldn't say that. All right, go around to verse number 13, please.
Which were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God.
Okay. Again, there's no article with this word God over here. Then you go around to verse number 18, please.
No man hath seen God at any time. The only begotten Son, which is in the bosom of the Father, he hath declared him.
So here, definitely God is not referring to the Son, and that is the same thing where there's no article. Now we go to chapter 3 and verse number 2.
The same came to Jesus by night, and said unto him, Rabbi, we know that thou art a teacher come from God, for no man can do these miracles that thou doest, except God be with thee.
Okay, the first God is like this, an article. The second one has the article. So basically, whether the article is with God or not, it's the same person exactly. And just to kind of clinch the whole thing, turn to Matthew chapter 27, verse 46. Let's back to Matthew. Then Mark 15, verse 34. Sean. Matthew 27, 46.
And about the 9th hour, Jesus cried with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. That is to say, my God, why hast thou forsaken me?
So Christ cried, my God, no article. So who's he crying to, himself? No. Is he crying to our God? No. He's crying to God the Father. Okay, then you go down to Mark 15:34. Okay, in Mark's Gospel, my God has the article. So you find Christ is saying, speaking to the Father, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? One Gospel has the article, one doesn't. Goes to show you that it's present or absent does not change the person who it's been referring to. So the JW's got it really, really mixed up, and they're trying their best to try and manipulate the Bible to fit in with their understanding, and they're failing to do so. You know, obviously they're failing to do so. All right, let's go around the clock, please. I want the alphabet, starting from Mr. Matthew. Say, go one at a time, please. We'll go around, keep going.
Alpha,
Theta,
Eta,
Eta.
Eta.
Oh, Zeta.
Sean,
Zeta.
your turn.
Yeta.
No.
What do you say? Yeta.
Kappa.
Lambda,
Nu,
Nu. Z. Omicron.
P.
Rho,
Sigma,
Tau. Epsilon. D.
Chi.
Psi,
Omega.
Good. Now, just don't stop. Zarin, I'll go. Bong, you're out. You're finished now, okay? You sit there and be quiet. I'll go. Akuo. Blepo.
C.
Echo. This is instant death.
yeah, I think I'm dead. Hat,
Yes, I have. Good. Luo.
I loose or destroy.
Good. Angelos. Adelphos.
Brother,
Doulos.
Slave. 7.
Karpos. Logos.
words.
Okay. Ginosko. Grapho. Didasco.
I teach.
Egero. Okay, sorry, another one cancelled out. Egero, okay.
Raise up.
Thello.
I wish you.
Yeah. Lambano.
I take and receive.
Yeah. Lego.
I say or speak.
Pempo.
Send, I send.
And Pharaoh. Okay, that's good. So yeah, a little bit of a refreshing review now of what we've done, so that's good. All right. Is that all the words we had? Man, it should have been more than that. Anyway. Okay, we're in the lesson number 4 now. We're looking at nouns of the second declension. And declension simply means grouping. There are 3 groupings of nouns in the Greek: first declension, second declension, third declension. The second declension is the most common, has the most words in it, so that's one's being used right now. We'll go to the first. The second declension refers to basically they are nouns that are basically masculine and neuter. First declension is feminine, and the third declension is a schmozzle of other things, a whole bunch of other things brought in together. Okay? So we'll go through now. Notice over here, the nouns that are written down have the article next to it. That tells you what is the gender of the noun. Because normally with the noun itself, you don't know what gender it is. So they give you the article in the vocabulary listing, so you know what is the gender, okay? That's why the article is there. Now, we're not going to pronounce the article as we go through the vocab now, just the noun itself, but that tells you basically what the gender is. All right, the first word is anthropos, and it means man. You want to repeat that, please?
Anthropos, man.
Okay, now always give me the Greek with the English. Anthropos, man.
Anthropos. Man.
Apostolos, apostle.
Apostolos. Apostle.
Artos, bread.
Artos. Bread.
Doron, gift.
Doron. Gift.
Thanatos, death.
Thanatos. Death.
Hieron, temple.
Hieron. Temple.
Kai, and even also.
Kai. And also even.
Kurios, Lord.
Curios. Lord.
Lithos, stone.
Lithos. Stone.
Nomos, law. Oikos, house. Ochlos, crowd. Huios, son. Okay, now this is your vocab. Just I've only I mentioned one of the meanings over the most popular one, the most common one. With the word kai, it's translated and all the time unless you can't say and. If it just doesn't fit, you find even or also will fit. So if you can't make an and out of kai, try also or even. Okay, that's basically the ruling for it. There's no basic rule outside of that. It's simply, it means and, it's a conjunction, but sometimes in the English it doesn't make sense. But even and also does make sense. Okay. All right, so just go through it there, you write them on your cards, make sure that you put them in your brain because vocab is so very important to understand in Greek. If you're going to translate anything, you've got to know the words you're translating. Okay, so you need to put in the hard yards this first year. Second year, you're having a much easier time. All right, we're looking at declension. As I mentioned before, declension refers to groupings of nouns. And these groupings are you have the Omicron type of endings. There's the eta type of endings. And then later on, there's going to be the alpha type of ending. So here we have basically the Omicron endings. Now, below that in the shaded box, you have nom, genitive, or nominative, genitive, ablative, dative, locative, instrumental, accusative, vocative. They're the different cases that you'll find with nouns and adjectives. And they have a certain ending on there, so you can recognise them as those cases. With the nominative, we'll have the os ending, like so above there with the vocab, you see anthropos, apostolos, artos. That os ending shows you it's nominative. Now, nominative is the subject case. If you want to write that down there next to nominative, subject. Okay, it's a subject case because that's how it's used generally, okay? Now, it gives you the singular and plural. And with the neuter, on and alpha, singular and plural. With the genitive, put down of. Okay, of meaning possession. This is the house of him. This is the dog of him. This is the possession of him. So with genitive, normally put the preposition of next to it to help you understand and translate properly. The ablative has the exact same ending as the genitive, and it's a case of separation. So you use the word from. This is from him. This is from that. He came from that, okay? So these little things can help you to be able to translate easier. Then we have the dative. The dative, locative, instrumental all have the same ending, and it's the context shows you which is which. With the dative, put next to it indirect object. Because normally prepositions to or for go before that. Then comes the locative. And with the locative over there, it's going to be in or at. Talking about location. So in or at. Instrumental, with or by. Accusative, that is the direct object. And last one, vocative, that's the case of address. He said, John, come here. It's a case of address. You're addressing somebody. Okay? Now, these are the different endings that identify if it's a subject, if it's the object, indirect object, or is it going to be a possessive use. So it just identify them by the endings, okay? In English...
Sorry, what was accusative again?
Accusative is your direct object.
Direct object.
Yeah. In English, the same word, spelled the same way, can either be a subject or can be a direct object, or can be indirect object, depends on how you put it in a sentence. But in Greek, no. You identify it by the ending on it, and it shows you what it is. So Greek is a bit more precise than English. Okay? Now, don't get dizzy. We're going to talk more about this in a few seconds' time. Next point is 4.3. We deal with the article. Now, the article, it's not exactly the same as the English the. It used to be like a demonstrative pronoun, and it got to the point where we basically now translate it as the. The presence can be the, or don't mention it if it doesn't make sense in English. The absence, it doesn't mean a or an. It may or doesn't have to mean that. So in English, if you can say a with it, fine. If you don't need it, don't. No worries. So it's not an exact translation, okay? So when you have the article present or not present, we'll look at articles later on in a bit more detail. They show you basically what the benefit it has. But just basically, you find article over here helps you understand the gender of the noun or of the adjective, because the article very, very plainly got masculine, feminine, and neuter. Very plainly, when you memorise those things, next to the noun that's on, you'll realise, oh, that's going to be masculine or feminine or neuter. Okay, so that's the article. Now, down below we have the shaded box again. You got just simply the masculine and the neuter article over here. Just those two. The feminine comes next week, and you'll need to memorise these things. So just go through it now. When we memorise this, you only memorise each different form. So you memorise the hop for the nominative, the to for genitive and ablative, to for dative, genitive and locative and instrumental, and ton for accusative for the masculine. And so you just remember you're memorising 4 forms. You don't go through hot, to, ton. No. Hot, to, ton, and hoi, ton, tois, tus. You go through them just one form at a time, and understanding that with the form regarding the to, there's 2 possibilities. It can be possessive or can be separation. And with the to, it can be 3 possibilities. Indirect object, it can be location, or it can be means. So that's something when you're translating, you just simply work out which is which, and it just comes naturally. Okay? Then accusative, that's your direct object. You've got singular and plural, and same thing with the neuter over there. So just memorise those things. It's hot, to, ton, hoi, ton, tois, tus, and tot, to, top, ta, ton, tois, ta. And you'll notice over here that the genitive and ablative for both neuter and the masculine, and the dative, locative, and instrumental for neuter and masculine are the same. Notice they're the same. Okay? So it is just when you look at the similarities, make sure you memorise less. Okay, and you see how they relate one to the other. All right. We'll jump down to case. I mean, a noun is simple. You read this on your own. We'll jump down to the case over here. It gives you a bit more details about case. Now, here we find that in English, the word order determines what is a subject and what's the object. That's the word order. But in the Greek, it doesn't matter what the word order is. It's simply, very, very plainly, the ending, the case ending tells you what the word does. So you might have them move words around, and when the words are moved around, it's done for emphasis. It's not simply done for fun, it's emphasis. You want to emphasise something, you might put the word first, you might put the word last in a sentence, and you chop and move it around. Now, in English, you find when you have a translation, if you get what's called a interlinear has this thing, has the Greek, has the English translation underneath in a wooden fashion, then it has the King James Version at the very ending. So that's a fantastic book to get in interlinear. I've got it in my office if you want to borrow it. It just goes to show you very plainly the Greek, the wooden translation, and the smooth translation of the King James Version. Okay? So so basically, with interlinear, you'll notice a lot of different things over there. It just doesn't seem to fit properly because it's just the way it is from going from Greek to English. Same thing when you're going from Hebrew to English, same thing exactly. It's a culture written in words. It doesn't fit our culture today, so we have to move words around to make it fit our culture. Okay? That's why we have words on italics in the Old and New Testament, just to kind of bring the meaning across. All right, so when it comes to case, we find there's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cases. Now, the first one we have over here, now in the top section, it's got over there case-based function. Nominative, they say is designation. That stuff there makes me dizzy. To me, nominative, subject makes it very, very easy. Now, it has other uses, but nominative, subject, that makes it very, very clear. Genitive, it says description, but it's one of possession. It describes now this is something like this is the house of him, this is the table of him, this is the book of him, and that's your genitive. Ablative, separation, like we mentioned, with the word from. Dative, indirect object. Locative, location. Instrumental is means. Accusative, direct object. They put down the limitation over there. And vocative, case of address. So keep those things in mind, because when it comes to translation, It's much, much, much easier doing that. Okay? Now, later on, we'll deal with prepositions, and those prepositions will basically overcome the different case endings, because they themselves will be able to use the prepositions, because these uses show you what the preposition is within the case of the noun. All right, now, we have a nominative in point A. Nominative is the case of designation. It's the naming case. Its main use is that of subject of the sentence or clause. Example, ho apostolos genos kai, the apostle knows. So you find that apostolos, subject, has the os ending, which is nominative, so no difficulty in working that out. Okay? Then the genitive comes in. Genitive is the case of description. When a word appears in this case, it specifies or qualifies a word or idea, it modifies. The example is in the phrase ho oikos to apostolou. It simply means the house of the apostle. Okay, or the apostle's house. So it's possessive. The house of the apostle. It's a possessive thing. So when you see the word, you see the genitive over there. Of is a preposition you want to use. Then you have the ablative. It's a case of separation. It uses the same form as your genitive, but in this case over here, ho apostolos pempe tous doulos tu oikou. The apostle sends the servant from the house. You wouldn't say of the house, unless a servant belongs to the home or something. So basically, context will help you a whole lot in translation. Without the context, you're guessing, is it of the house or from the house? It makes sense both ways. Yeah, this is the servant of the house, and he's sending him somewhere. That makes sense. Or he's sending the servant from the house. They both make sense because there's no context. Bring the context and you'll be able to work out which is which. All right, then you have the dative. It's the case of reception or indirect object. You have the example, ho apostolos, the apostle, legay speaks, to or ochlo, to the crowd. Speaking to the crowd. Why? Well, because it's the indirect object. Now notice over here that the dative has a iota subscript, which is in this case over here, when you have the omega, a small iota goes underneath it. That's called the iota subscript. That is a sign of the dative, locative, and the instrumental. So when you see that, you know exactly, oh, this is dative, okay, or locative instrumental. Okay, so that has to be there. You never ever have that without it. So it's going to always be there. Then you have the locative, a case of location or position. It's the same as the dative as far as form goes. Ho apostolos, the apostle, didaske, teaches, to oiko, in the house. He teaches in the house. Doesn't teach to the house or for the house. Doesn't teach by the house or with the house. He teaches in the house or at the house. So it's basically one of deduction. Then you have instrumental. This also has the same form as your dative and expresses means or instrument. So ho apostolos, the apostle, didaske, teaches, nomois. The apostle teaches with laws or by laws. Okay, it doesn't teach to or for them. It doesn't teach in or at them. It teaches with them or by them, okay, or by means of. So again, you're looking at the context to determine. Then we have the accusative. This is your direct object, the case of limitation. Example, ho apostolos, the apostle, didaske, teaches, ton huion, the son. So they're simple, and you'll find that when you do exercises, the exercises themselves explain themselves. And the exercises get the theory, and you see how the theory works, and it comes more clear. So just listening to this, you think, mate, I'm dizzy. But when you do the exercises, man, I know what's going on now. It clarifies everything beautifully. So just going through it without any examples, you think it's not complete yet. So we'll do some examples in a few moments' time and show you how it's supposed to work out. Vocative, the case of address, when you say, brethren, it's time to come to church. Brethren, you're talking to them, you're addressing them, therefore it's a case of address, okay? All right, next page over here. As mentioned before, when it comes to gender, you can't tell by the word itself what gender it is. And in English, we got masculine, feminine, and neuter. And masculine is like man stuff, and feminine is lady stuff, and neuter is thing stuff. Not in Greek. You can have techna, children, and that is simply neuter. The Holy Spirit is pneuma, and that's neuter. And so in the scriptures, you might have the Spirit itself bears witness with our spirit instead of the Spirit himself. Why? Because it's a neuter word. So grammatically it's correct, theologically it's not. But you can't have it both ways. So you find there's some words over there that you got the word Ioannes, John. That's a feminine word. But it's masculine, but feminine in form. So you find that in Greek, you don't have consistency like we have in English. So what you have basically is the article before the noun showing you that's masculine, that's feminine, and that's neuter. Okay? An object, lithos, is masculine. What is it? A stone. A stone is masculine. Since when? Well, that's just the way the word is. Okay, so don't try and think of logic what masculine, feminine, neuter is. Just simply accept it from the vocab and go with it. And with word order, as I mentioned before, word order is not essential as far as like English goes to work out what the sentence means, because the case endings tell you what the word means. Okay, the case ending shows you how it fits in a sentence. And word order is used for the purpose of emphasis and for the purpose of sound. I mean, it sounds better a certain way than another way. Yeah.
Why are they dropping the towel
Where?
from like the ends of the word?
What?
You've got like anthropos and then anthropo.
Yeah.
But the genitive, if you look at the previous page in the grade box, is toe.
Yeah, you're looking at the article. The previous page, lesson 4, check over there at the bottom, there's no towel. Okay, the article has the towel and just the ending doesn't. Okay? All right. All right, now we have over here examples of the declensions, and it's very, very consistent because all the masculine nouns ending in os will decline the same way. So if it's anthropos, logos, doulos, huios, it's logos, lagou, lago, lagon, laget, lagoi, lagon, lagois, lagus. All the same. Anthropos, anthropou, anthropo, anthropon, anthrope, anthropoi, anthropon, anthropois, anthropous. Very, very simple. Now, each case over there, with anthropos, it's man, 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 man. Logos, word, 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 word. It's the same word. So if you had, like I think Matthew asked me once about God. You got over here, theos, theou, theou, theon. Same word. God, 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 God. God, subject. God, direct object. God, indirect object. God, possessive. Same word. Okay? So don't think, oh, mate, that must be a different word. It's spelled differently. No, it's the same thing. Just the different ending shows you how that word is used. Okay, so the is God. The os ending shows you how it fits in a sentence. Okay? All right, so those ones have to be memorized. And I'll tell you something, it's not hard. If you simply say those things in order, logos, lagou, lago, lagon, laget, lagoi, lagon, lagois, lagus. So again, you don't forget it. Why? Because it just goes, it's just smooth. And you, with the article, ho, tuto, ton, hoi, ton, tois, tus. I mean, you say it again and again and again, it just sticks. You say one word, and it reminds you of the next one. And you say the next word, it reminds you of the next one. And so the whole idea is do it in order consistently. And don't just do part, do the whole thing in order consistently. And you find it gets done very, very easily. Okay? Now the neuter over there is mentioned. Daron, daru, daro, daron, darat, daron, darois, darat. With the neuter, the singular, the nominative and the accusative is the same in singular and plural, and the genitive and dative is the same as the masculine. So yeah, you're really learning the nominative and the nominative and accusative form for neuter. Otherwise, it's the same as the masculine. Okay? Any questions? Good, excellent. Now, the pattern is going to be this. We have now exercises, and these exercises I've done for homework, and what I do, we do half in class, and you do half at home. And when you come in the following week, we mark the half you did at home, and that becomes part of your quiz. Okay? So your quiz will be the workbook plus what you did for homework as far as translations go. And you'll get a mark for both. So make sure that you put your effort in over there. And by the way, in doing these sentences, it so enforces the principle to learn automatically without even trying. So we're going to go through them now, okay? First thing we're going to do is read it, then I'll get you to do one at a time. 2, 4, 6. Okay, there's 8 over here. So, okay, start off with Matthew. Okay, let's read the passage. Now, when we read it, then you will then read it and translate as you go along. Okay, let's read together, please. Ho anthropos genos kai ton nomon. Go ahead, Matthew, enlighten us.
Ho. I'm going to say it again in Greek.
Yeah.
Yep. Ho, anthropos, ginoskei.
No. Say it, then translate. Say it and translate.
Ho is the, isn't it?
Yeah, the.
Anthropos, which is a person,
Man.
a man.
The man.
Yeah. Ginoskei,
They don't have to memorise. Just go check the vocab list.
no.
Okay, the man knows.
Yeah. Ton, the. The law.
Good. So the man knows the law. Okay. Now, when you read it, give me the article and noun together, not one at a time. Okay. All right. Let's read the second one. Then Zara, it's your turn. Ho doulos ferei doron. I didn't hear no one but me. Let's try it again. Ho doulos ferei doron. Go ahead, Zarin. No. Hot doulos. Good. The servant. Sorry? Ferei. Yeah. Yes. A gift, yeah. The servant brings or bears a gift. All right, so here with doron, it's natural. They use the word next to it. All right, the third one, let's read it, please. Ho apostolos legei logon. Okay, Sean. Greek first.
Ho is not, and apostolos is apostle, and lege is say or speak,
Yeah,
and logon is word.
yeah. The apostle is speaking a word. All right? Okay. Number 4. Echais ton karpon. I've got a loud voice. It's overpowering all your voices. Wow. I feel so proud. Go ahead.
Echais you have,
Good.
ton kapon the fruit,
Would you say you have the fruit or you have fruit?
you have fruit.
Yeah, either way. So, I mean, without the context, you know, you can say it the way it is there, but basically, you have the fruit. All right? Number 5, hoi adelphoi akousen tous logus tu angelu.
Hoi adelphoi, so the brethren.
Yes?
Kuosin tus legus.
No. One at a time. Akousen.
Are hearing
Good.
the word.
Good. Did you say singular or plural?
Sorry, the words.
Yeah.
Tus angelus.
No. Tu angelu.
Tu angelu. From the angel. The brethren are hearing the words from the angel.
Okay, or from the messenger. Depends on who it is. All right, next one. Number 6. Pempete dora to hiero. Good.
You are sending.
You're better off playing with your textbook rather than the workbook. Now, dora is plural. The singular is doron.
Could you please skip me, Pastor Slim?
Sorry?
Could you please skip me?
You're not going to give in. How about gifts? You are sending gifts. You can ask the guy next to you to give you a hand.
They are sending gifts to the temple.
Now, give her a hand.
They are sending gifts to the temple.
That's it. That's it. You are sending gifts to the temple. All right, number 7, blepomen, tous, oikous, tone, adelphone. Matthew.
Blepomen. Blepo is see, and then first person plural. We are seeing.
Yeah.
We are seeing choose
Log,
oikous,
tous, oikous,
the house.
sis, plural.
We are seeing the houses. Ton adelphon, the houses of the brethren.
Yes. We are seeing the houses of the brethren. By the way, if you make a mistake in singular or plural, that wipes out that translation completely. Any small mistake you make in translation wipes that word out completely. Okay? So I'm not taking half off, it's a wipe out completely. All right, the last one, hoi, huioi, tone, anthropone, argusen, tous, doulos. Zarin, you're the lucky ducky. Now give me the noun with it. Hoi, huioi.
The sons.
Okay, the sons.
I'm not sure what this one is. Is that
Tone, anthropone.
tone? But what is tone?
It's the article the.
Okay, so it's the man
Plural. The sons of the men.
of the men. Agusin.
From ago.
I sent. So the sons of the men sent.
No. Are leading.
I mean,
Yeah. The sons of the men are leading.
third. The slave.
Good. Now plural. The slaves. Okay, so then when you go through it, notice you don't have to work out what endings are there. They write them for you. All you got to do is simply, it gives you the plural subject. It shows you what the spelling is for the plural verb, and it just fits normally. All you got to do is simply recognize it. You don't have to work it out, just recognize it. And that's the beauty of this, because you're spending the time to trying to understand what's going on. Then the very exercises just remind you of what you've been learning. Okay? So it's a blessing and a half. So if you focus on what you're doing, you find there's no issue. So get acquainted with it, and when you go through and learn the vocab, that's the biggest asset towards the whole thing. The biggest asset, okay? All right, we've got the homework over there, which is sentences 9 to 16, and that'll be written down. And so when I come in next week, you'll hand your paper over to someone else, and we'll go through, and I'll get you to translate those things there. Like we did tonight, you'll translate them next week. You say the verse out, the word out, so the sentence out in Greek, then you translate it word by word. That'll be the pattern, okay? So there'll be the homework regarding the workbook, plus there'll be translation over here. And as we go along, you get actual verses out of the scriptures you're translating, not just simply made up sentences. Okay? Any questions? All right, that's good. Thank you very much.
Just to confirm, we don't do the feminine declensions for this week, do we? We haven't covered feminine yet. We're just
No, you don't do it. Yeah, no,
masculine and neuter.
Oh, no, just do masculine and neuter. Don't do the feminine. Yeah,
All right, cool.
that's it, yeah. You can go to the next lesson and do it if you want, but you don't have to. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you.